Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to 115, class 115. Not bad, eh? It's taking forever. It's taking forever. My God, I'm going to die if I have to continue to class 195. Dios mío, este curso sí está repleto de material. Mucha chicha, como decís aquí. A lot of meat, carne, a lot of meat in this English program, in this course, Bago Ingles 4.0. It's a lot. Myself, 9 other teachers, constant, bam, 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 sin parar, hasta que se os forme el sudor en el labio superior. A mí sí, when I'm teaching. It's a lot of work, a lot of study, and if you invest additional time and effort in the task, your English is going to improve a lot. I guarantee you. All right? Even people for whom the English language or languages is not their forte, is not their strong point or their strength. Tres palabras para mi fuerte. Mi fuerte son los idiomas, por ejemplo. My strong point, punto fuerte. My strength, mi fortaleza. My forte. Interesting word, casi como francés. Forte. My forte. Se usa mucho, yo lo uso mucho. Is not learning languages, and your forte probably is not either. But you have no choice but to try to learn this language or to improve considerably. And my job is to help you. Our job, my job and my friends here, is to help you in your effort, in your quest, in your endeavor, in your initiative to improve, to progress, to advance, to get better. All right, let's do some review. All right, now you remember, I'll do reviews always on camera number 1. So let's change. All right, you remember the other day? Yes, I was pulling things out. I was pulling pencils out, taking them out. But to pull them out is when you tie up their sleeve. You remember, I put pencils in my sleeve. Can you see? Can you see it? Okay. I'm putting these pencils in my sleeve. These pencils represent tricks, trucos que tengo, que saco de la manga. In English too. We say, Richard tiene muchos trucos subidos por la manga. Decimos, this Richard guy has a lot of tricks up his sleeve for teaching. I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve. And every now and then, I pull one out. I pull out a trick. En este caso no decimos take out. Take out sería simplemente sacar un bolsillo. To take out. But to pull out, implica más arte en retirarlo. To pull that trick out of my sleeve. I pull out one trick. I'm going to pull out another. Wow, this is a cool trick. This trick for teaching English is using the present perfect in order to teach the simple past. It's an interesting trick. Here's a trick. I have just pulled out another trick out of my sleeve. I've just pulled another trick out of my sleeve. And this trick is for teaching the conditionals. It's a good trick. Yeah. This trick is fantastic. This is the best trick of all. This is simply a trick of using action verbs to make a class fun, exciting, stimulating for any level. Am I sitting or standing? Am I looking at you or at Maria? Am I pointing at you or at the ceiling? Am I hitting the table or the chair? Am I shooting myself or you? Etc. So it's a lot of fun. That's a very interesting and very fun trick. And I'm going to pull one more trick out. To pull one more trick out of my sleeve. This one, da-da-da-dum. This is my trick, and this trick is a trick for teaching people how to gain confidence when speaking and linking words. I'm almost there. Okay, casi estoy ahí. Different tricks to pull out. And remember, to pull out also means to withdraw. To withdraw, claro, withdraw también es retirar, pero withdraw es retirar fondos. Okay? O retirarse uno mismo de una habitación. I'm going to withdraw from this meeting. We don't say I'm going to retire. Voy a retirarme de esta reunión. Aquí no pinto nada. I'm going to retire. No, to retire es jubilarse. To retreat es batirse en retirada. But to withdraw es me voy a ir a otra habitación alejándome de esta reunión porque aquí no pinto nada. I'm going to withdraw from this meeting. Okay? But to withdraw also is to withdraw money from a bank account. Okay? And to withdraw from a race. If you're running in a race and you decide you don't want to continue, you pull out of the race. You withdraw from the race. You pull out of the race, okay? Have you ever pulled out of a race? Me, never. But once I almost pulled out of a race. I almost pulled out of a race. I remember I was running the 800 meters. Normally I run the 400 meters, but I was running the 800 meters. And I almost pulled out of the race. I almost pulled out of the race. But I won the race. But the 800 meters was a little bit too long for me. I was a sprinter. I ran the 200 meters and the 400 meters. But once the coach said, Rick, why don't you try the 800 meters? And I said, well, fine, I'll try it. I ran the first 400 meters too fast. I was in first place. And 4 runners passed me on the backstretch of the second lap. And I was really tired. And I was thinking about pulling out. I was thinking about pulling out of the race. Stopping, withdrawing from the race, pulling out of the race. But in the last curve, for some reason to this day, I don't know why, I had a second wind. ¿Sí? Un segundo viento, una segunda capacidad de oxígeno. I had a second wind, I felt better, and I ran the last 150 meters like a sprinter. And I passed the other 3 who had passed me before. So what happened to me, and this happens when you're running, middle distance especially, when people pass you, you have a moment of psychological struggle, a fight psychologically. You see this in cycling too. Se quedan clavados ciclistas going up. When another person passes them, it's really tough psychologically to continue. People who can recover from a person passing them are very good cyclists. And it happened to me in that race, and I almost pulled out. I nearly pulled out. But I decided to stick it out, and in the last 140 meters, more or less, I passed the rest and won. Lucky. I was lucky. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes to continue.
Hello everyone, my name is Leila. Soy Leila. Estoy aquí con mi alumna Ana. Ana, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Okay, and at home, how are you guys doing? Are you doing great? Okay, well, today we have a review class. The first part is a phrasal verb, your favorites, okay? So we're going to practice the phrasal verb pull out. Okay, pull out, which is separable, lo podemos separar. We can say pull it out. Y significa echarse atrás o retirarse. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes. I am.
Okay, good. Y en casa, always practicing. Okay? Always practicing out loud as many times as possible. Okay, let's begin. Have you ever had to pull out of a competition at the last minute? Okay.
Yes, I've had to pull out at a competition at the last minute.
Out of a, so pull out of a.
Yes, I've had to pull out of a competition at the last minute.
Okay, good. At the. Last minute.
Last minute.
Okay, why don't you just say it one more time? So pull out of. Okay, aquí hacemos también todo el linking, consonant to vowel. Pull out of. Consonante vocal, consonante vocal, consonante vocal, como si fuera una palabra. Pull out of. Okay? One more time.
Yes, I've had to pull out of a. Pull out of a
exactly.
Competition at the last minute.
Okay, competition, ata. Aquí tenemos ese sonido. Again, ata. Okay, so remember, at ends with a T, the next word begins with the TH, así que esa T desaparece. Lo hacemos en una palabra, ata. Okay, no decimos at the. Nobody talks like that. Nadie habla así. En lenguaje natural es hasta. Okay? Can you say it just one more time for me, please?
Yes, I've had to pull out of
Competition.
Yes, I've had to pull out of a competition at the last minute.
Good, okay. So yes, I've had to pull out of a competition at the last minute. Okay, good. Ask me if I've ever had to pull out of a deal.
Have you ever had to pull out of a deal?
No, I've never had to pull out of a deal. Pull out of a. Ahí, como si fuera una palabra. Pull out of a deal. No, I've never had to pull out of a deal. Okay? Have you ever pulled out of an important sports event?
No, I've never pulled out of an important.
Esa D no la he oído. I didn't hear the D.
No, I've never pulled out.
Pulled.
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 No, I've never pulled out of.
We're using the present perfect with never, right? Okay, and if you link it with the O, si lo juntáis, pulled out. Okay? Hace como énfasis, se tiene que decir incluso más. Pulled out of a.
No, I've never pulled out of a sports
Event. Important sports event.
Of an important sports event.
Okay, say it one more time for me.
No, I've never pulled out of an important sports event.
Okay, good. All right. ¿Qué no ha hecho nunca? What has she never done? Okay, so she's never pulled out of an important sports event. Well done. Okay, the second part, la segunda parte. Almost and nearly. In Spanish, casi. Okay, so we have almost and we have nearly. We're going to practice with this now. Okay? All right, so I'm going to give you a sentence and I want you to use, in the first one, I want you to use almost. Okay? All right, y en casa, siempre practicando, ¿verdad? Okay. Did you miss your flight? Okay, so I want you to use almost here.
Yes, I almost missed my flight.
One more time.
Yes, I almost missed my flight.
Good, okay. Yes, I almost missed my flight. Okay? The next one, and now I want you to use nearly. Okay? Have you made dinner? Casi, como que casi he terminado. Have you made dinner?
Yes, it's nearly finished.
Okay, I've nearly
finished.
Okay, I've nearly finished
it. I've nearly finished it.
Okay, or you can use the verb make. Recordad que cuando queremos decir preparar, utilizamos make, okay? Like with make with anything that has to do with food. Make dinner, make lunch, make coffee. Siempre va con el verbo make, okay? So use make for me.
Have you made dinner?
Have you made dinner?
Yes, I've nearly made it.
Yeah, I've nearly made dinner.
Okay. Yes, I've nearly made dinner.
There you go. Okay, I've nearly made dinner. Ahí tenemos de con de. Otra vez, linking, okay? Because it's the same sound, porque es el mismo sonido. I've nearly made dinner. Okay, fantastic. Did you miss the last train? So now with almost.
Yes, I almost missed the last train.
Good, okay. So yes, I almost missed the last train. Have you finished the book?
Yes, I've nearly finished the book.
Very good, okay. I've nearly
finished the book.
Very good, okay. I've nearly finished the book. Pero ahí tenemos una T y una TH. Suena, do you say the T? I've nearly finished the book. Hacemos linking, so the sound is completely different. El sonido es completamente distinto. Yes, I've nearly finished the book. Okay, say it one more time for me.
Yes, I've nearly finished the book.
Very good. Okay, now just one more time. Y vosotros en casa al mismo tiempo también.
Yes, I've nearly finished the book.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Great job. Fantastic. Y vosotros igual de bien, ¿verdad? Well, that's all the time we have for today, so I will see you next time. Goodbye.
I have one question. Do you work hard with your English, or do you hardly work? Do you understand my question? It's a double question. Yes, or this or that. Do you work hard, or do you hardly work? You don't understand. Well, let me explain it on camera number one. The question on camera, the English language is the same on camera number 2 and camera number 1. The English language doesn't modify when I change cameras. So let me ask you the same question. Do you work hard, or do you hardly work? You don't understand the difference. Well, to work hard, it's trabajar duro, trabajar mucho. To hardly work es apenas trabajar. Anda. Hardly, yes. El adjetivo, hard, duro, y el adverbio, duramente, is hard, hard. I am a hard worker. I work hard. I am a quick runner. I run quickly. I am a hard worker. I work hard. I hardly work means a duras penas, por los pelos, apenas. I can hardly see you. Andres, is that you? I can hardly see you. I can barely see you. Barely escrito es otro sinónimo. I can hardly see you. Speak up, I can't hear you. Could you speak up? I can hardly hear you. I can hardly hear you. Maria, there's hardly any water in this cup. Every day we have the same problem. Every day she forgets to fill my cup. And then when I need to drink some water, there isn't any water left. And there's hardly any water left in the cup. There's hardly any water left in the cup. There is hardly any water left. Apenas queda nada de agua. There is hardly any water left in the cup. I can't believe it. You know, I've told her 1,000 times to keep my cup full, and 1,000 times she has forgotten. There's hardly any water left in the cup, and I have hardly any patience left. Apenas me queda paciencia para seguir enseñando inglés. I hardly have any patience left, and I can hardly see you, and I can hardly hear you. Yes. Yeah, I can hardly drive at night now. I can hardly see at night. I need to wear glasses when I drive at night, not during the day. Strangely, during the day I'm okay, but at night I can hardly see. Apenas veo nada. Claro, en inglés usamos el verbo can. Apenas puedo ver nada. Puedo apenas ver nada. I can hardly see anything. Apenas llego cuando llego apenas. I hardly arrive when I begin to cry. Okay, hardly. Yeah, it's hardly. You're hardly. I can hardly make out what he's trying. You know, there's a problem here with this section in the method. I can hardly understand what they're trying to tell me to do. All right? Yeah. I can hardly understand what. Let's see. This segment was prepared by Richard Brown. Yeah. And I can hardly understand what he's trying to tell me to do. Casi nadie puede entender esto. Hardly anybody can understand this. Yeah. Hardly nobody no se dice. Yeah. Apenas nadie. Casi nadie. Curioso. Hardly no es que sea un agente negador, pero niega. Casi nadie entiende lo que él dice. Hardly anyone understands what he says when he talks. Yeah, Richard Brown talks so fast that hardly anyone can understand him. Hardly anybody can understand him. All right? Almost nobody existe. Casi nadie. Almost nobody comes here by public transport. This television studio is so far from Madrid that hardly anybody, almost nobody, se puede decir, almost nobody comes here, pero es que no se dice, hardly anyone. This TV studio is so far from the center of Madrid that hardly anybody comes here by public transport. It takes too long and it's too far. Hardly anyone comes here. Hardly anybody comes here by public transport. Almost everybody. Almost everybody, the opposite, hardly anybody. Almost everyone, hardly anyone. Casi todo el mundo me entiende cuando hablo inglés. Almost everybody understands me when I speak English. Hardly anyone understands Richard Brown when he speaks English. Yeah, which is okay because many people speak like Richard, many people speak like me. But hardly anybody understands him, and almost everybody understands me. Hardly anyone, almost everyone. Casi nadie le entiende a él y casi todo el mundo me entiende, casi todos me entienden a mí. Hardly anyone understands, tercera persona singular, hardly anyone understands him. Almost everyone understands, tercera persona singular, casi todo el mundo, tercera persona singular. Hardly anyone understands him, and almost everyone understands me. Almost everything I do is productive in class. Almost everything I do in this program is productive for you. Hardly anything I do is a waste of time. Hardly anything I do is pointless. Almost everything I do is constructive and productive and good for you. Hardly anything I do is a waste of time. Hardly anything I do is pointless. Casi nada lo que hago es una pérdida de tiempo, ¿no? Casi todo es productivo, I suppose. What do you think? Do you think that almost everything I do is productive, or that hardly anything I do is productive? Some people think that hardly anything I do is worthwhile. Other people think that almost everything I do is worthwhile. What do you think? What's your opinion? What do you think? Yeah. And there's hardly any water left in my cup. There's hardly any ink left in my pen. Yeah, there are hardly any chapters left before we reach unit 100, class number 120. Yeah. Yes. And there's hardly any hair left in this part of my head. I'm losing hair here. Yeah. There's hardly any hair left. Casi no hay pelos. Casi no quedan pelos aquí. There is. No decimos hairs. Sí se dice hairs en plural, pelos, pero es pelos de perro que ha dejado en un sofá. Hay pelos aquí. They're hairs. Quitando ese caso, hair. Singular siempre. Casi no hay pelo. Casi no tengo pelo aquí. I hardly have any hair left. Casi no me queda. I hardly have any hair left right here. I'm losing my hair. Oh my God. What should I do? I hardly have any hair left. But I know a lot of other teachers in my organization who are worse than me, who are losing more hair than I am. And really, we hardly have any time left. We have less than a minute left. Casi no nos queda. Apenas nos queda medio minuto. Eh? We hardly have half a minute left. There is hardly any time left. Yeah. There's hardly any time left for me to do anything productive. Hardly anything I do is unproductive, but now there's hardly any time left for me to do anything productive. Almost always, hardly ever. Almost always, hardly ever. I almost always teach well. I hardly ever teach poorly, I hope. All right. Our sponsors have something to say, but I'll be back when they finish. Almost always, hardly ever. Casi siempre, casi nunca. Casi siempre voy a la playa en verano. I almost always go to the beach in the summer. I hardly ever go to the mountains. I almost always go to the beach. I hardly ever, almost always, hardly ever. Casi nunca es hardly ever. Apenas si alguna vez. Hardly ever. Casi nunca. I hardly ever go to the mountains in the summer. I almost always go to the seaside, to the beach, to the coast. Almost everyone, hardly anyone. Casi todo el mundo, casi nadie. Almost everyone, hardly anyone. Almost everyone, hardly anyone. Casi todo, apenas nada, casi nada. Almost everything, hardly anything. Almost everything, hardly anything. Interesting word, hardly. I can hardly see you. Are you there? I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello and welcome. Thank you, Richard, and welcome to you. My name is Kyle, and I'm here today with Anna. How are you, Anna?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
Great. We're here in class 115. 115 already. And we're going to practice with the word hardly. I hardly ever eat in Bulgarian restaurants, for example, right? I hardly ever. How often do you go ice skating?
I hardly ever go ice skating.
She hardly ever goes ice skating. How often do you go ice skating? I hardly ever go ice skating. I often go ice skating when I go to Canada. But here in Spain, I hardly ever go ice skating. How often do you visit Germany?
I hardly ever visit Germany.
How often do you see celebrities on Gran Via?
I hardly ever see celebrities in Gran Via.
On Gran Via. I hardly ever see celebrities. How often do you ask for directions?
All the time.
Okay.
I ask for directions all the time.
Okay, yeah. Ask me how often I ask for directions.
How often do you ask for directions?
I hardly ever ask for directions. I used to ask for directions all the time, but now, less. Less. How often do you go to work early?
I hardly ever go to work early.
Okay, yes. How often do you go to work early? I hardly ever go to work early. Yeah. So how often do you hear people speaking Icelandic?
I hardly ever hear people speaking Icelandic.
Icelandic, yes. You're sitting in the bar, eating your paella or your whatever, and you hear they're speaking Icelandic. Great. They must be from Iceland. But no, I hardly ever hear people speaking Icelandic. How often do you wear a Scottish kilt?
I hardly ever wear a Scottish kilt.
Yeah. How often do you wear a Scottish kilt? I hardly ever. Casi nunca. I hardly ever wear a Scottish kilt. How often do you eat outside in the winter?
I hardly ever eat outside in the winter.
Okay, she hardly ever eats outside in the winter. And you? I hardly ever eat outside. Sometimes, but rarely. In Canada, I never eat outside in the winter. It's way too cold. But here, I sometimes eat outside in the winter, but hardly ever, right? So how many people in Spain prefer French wine? How many people?
I don't know, a lot of people? Not that
Prefer
many
French
people.
wine. So you could have a nice Rioja or you could have a Beaujolais. And they say, I'll go for the Beaujolais. How many people? Hardly, you could say hardly anyone.
Hardly anyone.
Hardly anyone in Spain prefers French wine. Can you repeat?
Hardly anyone in Spain prefers French wine.
I think so. Hardly anyone in Spain prefers French wine. Almost everyone in Spain prefers Spanish wine. I prefer Spanish wine as well. So how many people in Spain leave 20% tips when they go to a restaurant? Take 20%. How many people in Spain do that? Hardly anyone, right? Hardly anyone in Spain leaves 20% tips. That's a big tip, right?
Yeah, it is.
A tip, yeah. So how many people in Spain can't speak Spanish?
Hardly anyone can speak Spanish in Spain.
Yeah, yeah. There are a few people, English teachers, for example, some English teachers or foreigners, but hardly anyone can't speak Spanish. So almost everyone can speak Spanish, right?
Yes.
Okay. How many people in Spain, at home, how many people in Spain drive Rolls Royces? Hardly anyone in Spain drives Rolls Royces or drives a Rolls Royce. One per person is enough if it's a Rolls Royce, right?
Right.
Do you drive a Rolls Royce?
No, I don't.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice. Okay, how much tea did you drink last week?
I hardly drank. I hardly drank
Any
any tea at all. Any tea last week.
last week. I hardly drank any. I drank a little bit, but I hardly drank any last week. So, how many of your friends play musical instruments?
Hardly any of my friends play musical instruments.
Yeah. So this means a few, but not very many. Hardly any of my friends play musical instruments. How many Eskimos live in Spain?
Hardly any Eskimos live in Spain.
Yeah, that's true. How many Eskimos live in Spain? Hardly any Eskimos. Maybe a few, but have traveled here. Maybe. Yes. How much of the water did you drink in that cup? It seems pretty full to me. Her cup of water is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty full. It's almost full. So how much of the water did you drink?
I hardly drank any water.
Yeah, I hardly drank any water. I hardly drank any of it. I've barely touched this water. I've hardly drank any of it. I've had a little bit, but not very much. I've hardly drank any of it. I've barely touched it. It's almost full, right? Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. How much of the movie have you seen?
I hardly seen any part of any of the movie.
I've hardly.
I've hardly seen any part of the movie.
Or any of the movie.
Any of the movie.
Repeat.
I've hardly seen any of the movie.
Good. And at home, I've hardly seen any of the movie. I've seen a little bit, but not much. I've hardly seen any of it. Just a little bit. How much of the lasagna did you eat?
I hardly ate any of the lasagna.
I hardly
Sorry.
ate any of the lasagna. Yes, nice. How much of the game did you watch?
I hardly watched any of the game.
Yeah, she hardly watched any of the game. I can't believe it. It was such an important game, and she wasn't even paying attention. She hardly watched any of it. You missed it. It was good.
Okay.
How much of the Pepsi did you drink?
I hardly drank any of it.
She hardly drank any of the Pepsi. How many episodes have you seen?
I've hardly seen any of the episodes.
Yeah, I've hardly seen any of the. How many of the episodes have you seen? I've hardly seen any of the episodes. Again?
I've hardly seen any of the episodes.
Good. Episodes.
Episodes.
How do you say episode in Spanish?
Capítulo?
Capítulo, right? Episode. So remember, chapter is in a book. Episode is on the radio or on TV.
Okay.
On TV, it's an episode. On the radio, an episode. In a book, it's a chapter. Capítulo, right? So how much of the rice did you cook?
I hardly cooked any of the rice.
Yes. How much of the pizza did you eat?
I hardly ate any of the pizza.
Yes. How many of the books have you read?
I've hardly read any of the books.
Books.
Sorry.
I've hardly read any of the books. And for you, how much of your work is administrative? Hardly any of my work is administrative. Right? Okay. Great job at home. Thanks, Anna. Great
Thank
job.
you. Thank you.
I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, are you ready? Camera number 1, hay trabajo aquí, eh? We have a lot of work to do, so manos a la obra. Let's get down. Boli primero. Let's get down to work. A este paso te va a dar un infarto. Okay? You're going to have a heart attack at this rate. At this rate. Escrito rate. Como tipo de interés, interest rate, tasa de mortalidad o mortandad, death rate, tasa de natalidad, birth rate, tipo de interés, interest rate. Okay? Tasa de velocidad, rate of speed, rate, escrito rate. At this rate means a este paso, te va a dar un infarto. At this rate, you're going to have a heart attack. You're going to have a heart attack at this rate. So slow down. Desacelera, amigo mío. Slow down. Take it easy. Don't get so uptight and upset and stressed out. Take it easy. Don't get so uptight. Tenso. Don't get so tense. Don't get so stressed out. Come on, take it easy. Settle down. Don't get upset so often because you're going to have a heart attack at this rate. Necesitas pensar en otra cosa. You need to think about something else. Stop thinking about your English for a few hours and start thinking about something else. Look, English is important, but it's not that important. Not in detrimental to your health. Come on. You need to think about something else for a while. Turn off, como dice aquí, turn off your chip. Come on, just unwind and think about something else, okay? Alguien ha estado leyendo mi correspondencia, eh? Somebody's been reading my mail. 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 Somebody has been. Pero hago la contracción. Pego la S de has, quitando la HA, a somebody, con apóstrofe. Somebody's been reading my mail. Tienes una manera extraña de mirar a la gente. You have a strange way of looking at people. You have a strange way of looking at people. It makes me nervous. When you look at me, it makes me nervous. You have a strange way of looking. Manera de mirar. You have a strange way of looking at people. Le conozco desde hace más de 20 años. Le conozco. ¿Cómo se dice le conozco aquí? No, I know, no. I've known. Claro, remontamos a 20 años atrás. Hasta hoy inclusive. I've known him for more than 20 years. Más de 20 años, sí. I've known him for more than 20 years. I've known. El verbo to know no es un verbo de acción. Un verbo de acción podría ser usar este boli. Llevo 20 años usando este bolígrafo. I've been using this pen. I've been using. Hacer use, en este caso, un verbo de acción. Uso el presente perfecto continuo. Pero el verbo to know no es un verbo de acción. Es un verbo pasivo. De conocer. So I've been knowing, no se dice. I've known him for 20 years. Siempre has parecido un hombre tan pacífico. You've always seemed like such a peaceful man. Pacific, no. Peaceful. You've always seemed like such a peaceful man. You've always. Has siempre parecido. En inglés, you have always. You've always seemed. You've always seemed. You've always seemed like such a peaceful man. Si no uso man, no uso such. Siempre has parecido tan pacífico. You've always seemed so peaceful. You've always seemed so peaceful. You've always seemed like such a peaceful man. El like va si después va un sustantivo, en este caso man. Si no, no pongo like. Dejo like fuera. Siempre has parecido tan pacífico. You've always seemed so peaceful. You've always seemed like such a peaceful man. Ella me pone tan nervioso que no puedo decir ni una palabra bien. She makes me so nervous that I can't even say a single word right. Yeah. She makes me so nervous that I can't say a single word right. I can't say a single word right. Right is bien aquí. Ni una sola palabra. A single word. She makes me so nervous. Nervous. Fijaos en la pronunciación, por favor. Nervous, no. Ni nervios, no. Nervous. She makes me so nervous that I can't say a single word right. Lo último que oí es que se habían casado. The last thing I heard was that they had gotten married. The last thing I heard was that they had gotten married, en inglés americano y canadiense, o bien, the last thing I heard was that they had got married. All right? In American English, get, got, gotten, similar to forget, forgot, forgotten. In British English, get, got, got. Okay, so the last thing I heard, lo último que oí, practicad eso, es muy corriente decir esto en inglés. The last thing I heard was that. You know, that es, no es opcional, es obligatorio aquí. The last thing I heard was that they had, se habían, pluscuamperfecto, they had got or gotten married. To get married. I'm getting married in the morning. Él no quiere que nadie le llame. He doesn't want anybody to call him. Ring. He doesn't want anybody to ring him. He doesn't want anybody to phone him. Yo siempre digo call. He doesn't want anybody to call him. He doesn't want anyone to call him. He doesn't want anyone to call him. I don't want anyone to call me. She doesn't want anyone to call her. They don't want anyone to call them. And we don't want anyone to call us. Si alguna vez necesitas algo, no dudes en hacérmelo saber. If you ever, si alguna vez en la vida, if you ever need anything, no dudes. Don't hesitate to call me. O hacérmelo saber, como decía aquí. Don't hesitate to let me know. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. Para eso estoy aquí. That's what I'm here for. Oh, por eso estoy aquí. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm here for, to help you. So if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call me, or don't hesitate to let me know. Hesitate, no doubt. Hesitate. All right? Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello
everyone. I'm Natasha, your teacher, and today I'm here with a very, 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 very special student that you all know. Her name is Marina. How are you, Marina?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic today, okay?
Good.
Did you study a lot for this class?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay, we're going to get through a lot today. We have a lot to practice, okay? Because we have to practice your vocabulary and the translation list. So we're going to start straight away, okay? Because we have to get through a lot, okay? Let's start with your 5 words of the day, okay? Let's start. The first one is con talento. Con talento. How do we say this? Very good. Talented. Talented. Very good. Let's see if Marina can say this.
Talented.
Very good. You're talented, aren't you? What are you talented at?
At singing.
Oh, very good. Okay. I'm talented at singing. Okay. The next one, okay? The next one is bienestar. How do we say this? Very good. Welfare. Welfare. Repeat. Very good pronunciation. Welfare. Let's see if Marina can say this.
Welfare.
Very good and very good pronunciation. Very English. Okay, so very, very good. Okay, the next one. Okay, the next one is virtud. Be careful with the pronunciation here. Very good. Virtue. Virtue. Remember that we say that TU really as if it were a C8. Okay, virtue. One more time. Very good. Let's get now Marina to repeat this word.
Virtue.
Very good pronunciation. Can you repeat one more time?
Virtue.
Perfect. And that V sound, perfect, okay? Moving your vocal cords, okay? The next one is por ahora, de momento. Very good, for the time being. For the time being, okay? Very good. Marina, it's your turn now.
For the time being.
Very good, okay? For the time being, finish the sentence.
For the time being, I'm going to be here.
Okay, very good. For the time being, I'm going to be here. Okay, and the last word is la gota que colmó el vaso. This is a very important expression. Very good. The last straw. Okay, so when you're up to here, you can say the last straw. This was the last straw. Can you repeat?
The last straw.
What was the last straw for you?
Well, today.
Yes.
Oh, the last straw was to have 22 books to read in one day.
Okay, very good. That was the last straw. You said, I'm fed up, okay? All right, very, very good. Now we're going to start with the translation list, okay? Remember, I'll say it in Spanish, you in English, and remember to say it out loud so you can work on your pronunciation, okay? Let's start. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
This is a tricky translation list, okay? Okay, but we'll get through it together, okay?
Right.
A este paso te va a dar un infarto.
At this rhythm? No,
At this rate. Very good,
sorry.
okay.
At this rate, you are going to have a heart attack.
Very good. At this rate, you're going to have a heart attack, okay? What was it in Spanish? A este paso. At this rate, okay? Very, very good. The next one is for you at home. Necesitas pensar en otra cosa. Very good. You need to think about something else. You need to think about, remember the preposition with think, you need to think about something else. Very, very good. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Even if it's tricky.
Yes.
Okay. Alguien ha estado leyendo mi correspondencia.
Someone has been reading my mail.
Very good. And if you contract someone and
Someone's been reading my mail.
very good. Someone's been reading my mail. Very, very good. Okay, the next one is for you at home, okay? Tienes una manera extraña de mirar a la gente. Very good. You have a strange way of looking at people. You have a strange way of looking at people, okay? Of looking at people. Let's see if Marina can repeat this sentence.
You have a strange way of looking at people.
I don't, do I? No.
No, you don't.
Okay. The next one is for you, okay? Le conozco desde hace más de 20 años.
I've met him.
No.
I've
Known
known
him?
him. All right. I've known him for for over 20 years.
Okay, very good. I've known him, okay, because meet is for the first time, okay? Cuando conoces a alguien por primera vez. But in this case, it's I've known him for over 20 years, okay? I've known him for over 20 years, okay? Very good. The next one is for you, okay? Siempre has parecido un hombre tan pacífico. Siempre has parecido un hombre tan pacífico. Very good. You've always seemed like a peaceful man. You've always seemed like a peaceful man. Okay, I got muddled up. I don't know what happened. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes, I am.
Prefiero no hablar con él.
I'd rather not talking to him.
I'd rather not talk to him.
Or I'd rather not talk to him.
Or I prefer.
I prefer not talking to him.
I prefer not to talk to him. Okay, one more time.
I prefer not to talk to him.
It's clear, you don't want to talk to him. Okay. All right, the next one is for you, okay? Ella me pone tan nervioso que no puedo decir ni una palabra bien.
She gets on my nerves, or
Or-
she makes me so nervous that I can't say a right word, a right that is
No puede decir ni una
all
palabra
right.
bien.
That I can't even say
Okay?
A word right.
Or I can't say a single word right. Okay? Do you want to repeat one more
yeah,
time?
yeah.
Do you want me to remind you?
No, she or he makes me so nervous that I can't say even nothing. I can't say a single word right.
Very good. This was tricky. Okay, so I'll repeat. You listen, and then you'll repeat again. Okay. She makes me so nervous that I can't say a single word right. Okay. Crossing our fingers. Let's see if Marina can say it correctly.
She makes me so nervous that I can't say a single word right.
Very good. Very, very good. Okay. The next one is for you at home. Okay. Lo último que oí es que se habían casado. Very good. The last thing I heard was that they had got married. The last thing that I heard was that they had got married. Okay. What's the past participle of got or get in American English?
Gotten.
Very good. Gotten. Okay. So you could also say this. Okay. The next one. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Él no quiere que nadie le llame.
He doesn't want anybody to call him.
Very good. He doesn't want anybody to call him. Very, very good. Okay, the next one is for Marina as well, okay? Si alguna vez necesitas algo, no dudes en hacérmelo saber.
If you happen to know something,
No, si
right.
alguna vez necesitas algo.
All right. If you ever need something
Or anything,
or anything, let me know.
okay? Or don't hesitate.
Don't hesitate to let me know.
Very good. One more time.
Okay. If you ever need something
Or anything.
or anything, don't hesitate to let me know.
Very good. It would also be correct if you say, if you happen to need something, don't hesitate to let me know, okay? The last one. La pobre chica nunca sabe dónde estás. La pobre chica nunca sabe dónde estás. Very good. The poor girl never knows where you are. The poor girl never knows where you are. Can you repeat this sentence, please,
The
Marina?
poor girl that never knows where you are.
Perfect. I'm very, very happy with your performance today. You at home and Marina here. So congratulations and work hard for the next class. Bye.
Okay, congratulations on finishing another class. Congratulations on moving forward one more step. Wait, no, two more steps. Because every class is 2 steps forward. Well, 1 step back and 2 steps forward. 1 step back and 2 steps forward. So congratulations on finishing another class. And I say the same thing to myself. Congratulations, Richard, on finishing one more class, which means I have 1 class left to do, that I have completed 1 more class. It's a slow, gradual process. Everything important in life is often a slow, gradual process. It's not easy to enjoy the good things in life quickly. Sometimes you need to be patient and to work hard to enjoy the best fruits of life. It's true. Okay, see you tomorrow.